One of these days, this song is not going to make me bop.
Right? That beat always makes me bob my head for sure.
It's been a long time since it was the two of us.
It has been a long time. Yes, yes. My bad. I've
Mm.
been gone for a minute, but I've been like MLW. I've been MLA or MIA for a minute, but
I
I am back and watched a ton of
know.
wrestling today.
Yeah. Him over there, I got to point the opposite way. Him over there decided to watch all of this today.
All of this today,
That's
knowing
like
that we
what?
still have to watch Rampage tonight and probably some of SmackDown at some point. So
It's like what? 6 hours of wrestling?
yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of wrestling. Yeah, yes, yes. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. No, I was definitely like, why does Ring of Honor have to be 2 hours?
Because it's
By
so
the time I
good.
got to it, I was like, why does Ring of
So
Honor have to be
good.
2 hours?
It's so good.
Uh,
The MLW heard you talking shit. So
I know, right?
we're gonna come back. See? Now you
Yep,
feel it. You
no
shouldn't have said
doubt.
it. You shouldn't have said nothing. All right. So hello you all. Welcome to Under the Radar. Oh Jesus. Just looking at all these shows that we watch. Shit.
Right? There's a lot of banners there, right?
Oh, we might be wrestling nerds.
Oh yeah, we're definitely way past that. It's funny, like there was definitely it's far more accepted now to be a wrestling fan than it was when I was younger. Like there was a when I was a kid, there was a big stigma around it. Like even as a kid, you got teased about being a wrestling fan. Like let
You
alone
were
being an adult. Like
like your peakness was what, late 70s, early 80s?
when I was a well, I was born in '76, so
Okay, so the 80s. Man, you
yeah,
had
the '80s.
yeah, okay, never mind. That
Yeah, I
was
mean, I'm not gonna lie. That was before we knew Hulk Hogan was what he was, and I was a huge Hulk Hogan fan as a kid. Like everybody was. Like that was, nobody knew any better. Like
mm, let none of y'all knew any better.
somebody knew better, but they wasn't telling us. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, folks didn't want to hear it.
That might be very well
The
true.
folks in Little Washington knew. And if you know, you know. Not too sure how many Sioux folks watch us, but I see you, you see me, we see each other, we know. Um, I am a '90s baby. I grew up in the Attitude Era. Even then, I was just like boobs and just
Boobs.
like happy, like oh, there's boobs, and then like trying to figure out if Sable's boobs were one day gonna fall off because they look so heavy. Like she was this big, and her boobs were this big, and looked like she would take a corner, and she just do. So like that's what I grew up with, and then John Cena, and
Yeah.
then bootlegging. I mean, hypothetically, borrowing cable to ensure that I could watch Raw and SmackDown. If I were to have done that in college, was not it would not have been the most acceptable thing.
Yeah. Yep. I've definitely gone to some extents to watch wrestling for sure. Most wrestling fans could probably be accused of that at some point.
Yeah. But then I became a teacher and I became the wrestling teacher. So the kids like that because, we got to talk about wrestling, anime, all that good stuff, relate that to reading and writing and all that good thing. And, life was
Yeah, yeah.
great.
There you go.
So, yeah, let's hop into the shows for this week. You are on MLW, so I'm out.
All right. Let's see here. I'll bring up my notes here. So MLW is back. It is on Reels, which I still can't find. So I've been watching it on. We won't talk about that. Um, but I didn't see last week's. It's been back for 2 weeks now. I did not see last week's, but I did see this week's. I'm looking through my notes here. Bear with me as I try to move through them here. Where are they now? Where did they go? Uh, I'm sorry, this is terrible. Here we go. Okay. So let's see. This week, so it's now MLW Underground on Reels, but it's basically the same show that it's been. It's back. This is the second episode now on Reels as MLW Underground. This week it opened with Leo Rush versus Jacob Fatu, which is actually a really good match. Leo Rush is back for the first time in 2 years. He attacked Fatu before the bell. Fatu ended up winning. Really good match. Even though it was a really good match, it really was kind of there to just further the story because then Hammerstone gets in the ring and he and Fatu go at it. They have to be broken up. They are wrestling in 2 weeks on March 21st at Super Fight, MLW Super Fight, for Hammerstone's title for the MLW Heavyweight Championship. Then Caesar Duran came out with a promo, and he has got with him, he has John Hennigan, who's actually going by John Hennigan, and Taya Valkyrie. John won apparently last week on the first episode of MLW that I didn't see. He won the Never Openweight title from Davey Richards, so he is now the new MLW Open Weight title holder, and Tyra is the MLW middleweight, women's middleweight title holder. So they have gold, and Caesar's bragging about him. Then we get Myron Reed and Mr. Thomas of the Boombayah Fight Club versus the Billington Bulldogs, which are Dynamite Kid's nephews, um, and the newest version of the British Bulldogs. They normally wrestle as a three-man team with Davey Boy Smith Jr. But this match is actually the winner of this. If the Billingtons win, then Davy Boy Smith gets a shot at Alex Kane, who is another member, the third member of the Boombayah Fight Club, at Super Fight on March 21st. So naturally, the Billingtons won. It was a good match. Um, the baby Bulldogs look good. Um, yeah, a solid match. It's only an hour show, so thankfully this was a quick one. That's really it. The most important things on this show were just that they're leading up to the super fight. We get Fatu and Hammerstone for the championship. Oh, next week we actually get uh, EJ and Duca and Calvin Tankman, who are now they're both back and healthy, so they're back as a tag team. They're the champions. They're going to wrestle um, the other two members of the Samoan SWAT team, Lance Anawahi and Juicy Finau, for the titles on next week's MLW show. So that was really most of what happened, and yeah, that's MLW in about 3.5 minutes. So I'll bring a CM back, and we'll move on to something else. That was it. What do we want to do next? Elevation?
That was good. I'm
Yeah.
surprised he was going by John Hennigan. I thought he forgot his own last name.
You're supposed to be
Um,
MLW, right? Johnny Johnny Underground.
yeah, see that one, I would get Johnny Underground better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I like
Um,
that he's a Hennigan. Yeah, I'm a little. I find it a little. I mean, he's a really good wrestler, so it doesn't surprise me when he wins ever. But I do always find it interesting when someone comes into a company, even though he's been here before, comes back to a company and his very first match is for a title and they win. It's like, oh, okay, I guess fuck everybody else that's just been here doing it. Like, I guess it is what it is. But when you get a star like a John Hennigan back at your promotion, I guess you got to kind of do something to keep him too. So, and putting a belt on him probably does something, especially since his wife has a belt and they can be the power couple of MLW, I suppose.
yeah, it works. Dark Elevation this week. Um, so
It
I
was.
tried to watch it like 3 times and I kept falling asleep.
I tried to watch it like 3 times. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think the only match that really stood out to me was the main event, Evil Uno versus Big Shotty Lee Johnson. I thought was the best match of the night
Of
of the show.
course, but
Everything else was a little. I mean, Cole Carter versus Christopher Daniels was okay. I always enjoy watching Christopher Daniels wrestle. Cole Carter is not. He's nothing to remember though. He's bland and
you know how
forgettable.
bad you have to be to just have an okay match with Christopher Daniels?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You have to absolutely suck.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Christopher Daniels can make anybody look good, and he could make Cole Carter. You're pretty-ish. go be a model.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to do something if he wants to stand out. He's got to come up with something more than he's got going on.
Yeah. So the main event is like the only thing to watch really
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Dark Elevation this week. So Dark,
yep. Let's see. On Dark, I thought. Let's see.
this made up for it.
Yeah, I thought Dark was okay. Dark was pretty good. There were a couple good matches. Obviously, the one that I enjoyed the most was AR Fox and the guy that apparently can move left again, because Ryan Nemeth was moving left in the ring against AR Fox. That's my very first note. Ryan's turning left with like 4 exclamation points. So that was the main event of this week's Dark. I enjoyed that match. I'm a huge AR Fox fan. He's not young. He's been doing this for a while, but he's just now really getting an opportunity on a main stage. But because of his age, they've got to do it now. Like, you've got to go now. If you're going to put a title on him, now's the time. Like, now's the time. I don't know what title it is. I'm not sure what that looks like. ROH TV title. Maybe when Joe loses the ROH world title, maybe that title. Potentially the TNT title or the All Atlantic title. But they got to do something with him sooner than later. I know people feel like because we just are now getting to see him, he must be new to whatever. But dude's like 40 years old, so you don't have a whole lot of time to mess
He
around with him if you're
looks
going to give him
like
a push.
he doesn't look his age.
No, he definitely
Um,
doesn't.
I will say I became an AR Fox fan when he was Dante Fox, and there was Kill Shot, and it was on Lucha Underground, and that's
Yeah,
that's how I like found him.
me too.
Um, AR Fox can put on like a great match. Having him versus Ryan Nemeth was really a great idea. Ryan Nemeth, as much flack as he gets a shit ton of it. Um, he really can have really good to great matches. He just looks so much like his brother, but less cute. Then he makes it kind of hard to you
I
know.
did notice that at a couple points, Ryan Nemeth's chest was as pink as his trunks were from being chopped. I was like, damn, your trunks are the same color, bro.
I no, do not chop. I'd be like, if you gotta chop me in the ass. If you chop me in the tits, I will have a Charlotte Flair and have a boob blowout. Um, but
I,
go
I thought
ahead.
that was the match of the night, but there were some other good matches. I thought Willow had a decent match. Willow looked good against Zoe Dubois. Zoe didn't have a lot of offense, but Willow looked good. And then I kind of like, obviously that match was there more for the angle with Athena attacking Willow at the end and then setting up the Ring of Honor match, which we'll get to later, that happened this week also. Uh,
Um,
Takeshita looked good against Cartwheel. Cartwheel had a couple little spots. I mean, nothing really to talk about.
and
What do you
that's
think about Murder Hawk's braids? Is that real hair? You're the hair expert. Is that real hair?
so it's his hair, and typically to get those braids, it's synthetic hair.
Okay.
But I don't really know how long he's leaving that in. If he's taking it right out, it's probably synthetic hair. If he's leaving it in, it's probably human hair, and he probably has to be very careful. Looking at it, it looks like synthetic because it looks fresh every time. Um, and after a
Is
while, it would start to slide out if it was human because you'd have to grip so hard for his hair.
okay. Is that appropriation as well, or because it's a different style that it's not really?
Well, he's not.
It's
I
not
personally
cornrows, right?
don't.
I mean, it's
I'm
not
not.
like
I'm not a fan of it. Although, given the fact that he does give respect to the community, it's not as big of an issue. It's more of an issue when you are very problematic for doing certain shit. He hasn't been like that. He's been, from all accounts, a very genuine and very good hearted person. I haven't heard any racism allegations, so
right.
if
Yeah.
someone does something I don't know, like drop it in the comments, and I'll investigate. But the good old folks in the alley haven't found anything on him, so if they can't find nothing, I don't know who to be found.
There was one thing I wanted to talk about on this show, which was, and he's done it. He did it 2 nights in a row. He did it on Elevation as well as on Dark. I am a huge fan of Cage's new finisher, that chain link. It's like yeah, where he steps on their head after doing like a um, what do they call that? It's not a sharpshooter. It's a cloverleaf, Texas cloverleaf modification type
I don't
thing.
see how he does it.
Yeah, right. It's
Like
it's it's interesting looking. It's yeah, but
he
it's cool,
looks he looks too big to be able to do that.
right?
Cage is a very interesting person. I don't know. I fear for Cage if he goes to WWE.
Yeah,
He does not have a strong enough personality, and his wife is too volatile. It
yeah,
would end very badly for him,
I think so too.
and I don't think he would be able to recover. At least with AEW, he could like do indies. He could do other things.
Yeah.
He, the personality, he's missing that personality spark.
Which is funny because he has some. It's just not. Maybe it's not enough. Maybe it's the wrong personality. I mean,
It doesn't
he.
fit him, but
Yeah,
it
he's not. It's not like
is.
he's bland. He's just. It's like it's almost the wrong personality.
And it's like you're a big scary dude, and when you try, like the only way I could see it kind of working is kind of like an elevated Eugene, like not like he has like an Otis. Otis is a better example. Otis trying to talk to Mandy Rose, and like how he was confident but kind of like shy, like
Yeah.
something kind of like that for him would work. But what they
Yeah.
doing, I don't know. I don't know what else to do with him. But do we want to do Impacts first, or do we want to do Ring of Honor first?
It doesn't matter. Ring of Honor comes first in my notes because I watched it that way, but it doesn't make any difference to me.
Let's watch Ring of Honor. We're just. Do you want to just talk about the second episode? Because the first episode to me, I will not complain about shit because damn it, that was my first Ring of Honor show that I was able to watch during daylight hours.
I didn't actually watch the first one. I've only seen the second one, so I can't really comment on the first one.
The first one was good, but before when I was watching Ring of Honor, it'd be like 2, 3 in the morning when I couldn't sleep, and it was just randomly on. So I was ecstatic. I was able to see it, and I could function like a normal human. Uh, so yesterday's, okay,
It was a good card. It was a good show. It was a really good show.
I it didn't feel like 2 hours.
No, it definitely didn't. I do have one question for you, and I don't know why, but like little things pop up, and I think, oh, that strikes me as odd. I can ask CM and I can ask Anika. Is it weird that Trisha Dora calls her finishing move Lariat Tubman? Is that
No,
weird? No.
no, you don't know
Okay.
what Harry used to do.
No,
Harry
I
used to
mean I.
call things out. No, so
No,
serious. Like
no,
if
I
it
mean
was
I
a
believe that. I wasn't sure if
knock
that
it
came
out.
off as weird or not.
No, like so she became kind of known, and many people in the Underground Railroad became kind of known to make sure that small children, toddlers, and stuff wouldn't cry. They knock them the fuck out. That Larry's gonna knock you the fuck out.
Yeah, there you go. So no, the show opened with Tony Deppen versus Samoa Joe for the World TV title. Good match. Both guys can go. Obviously, we love Joe. Um, Tony Deppen's a really good wrestler. I do think this match was there again, even though Deppen's a good wrestler. It was more there for the post match, where Joe basically set up an open challenge, and it was accepted by Mark Briscoe. So we're gonna get Mark Briscoe versus Samoa Joe for the world title, which I'm all here for.
Is it bad that I want this to be like his defining feud for this phase of Ring of Honor? Just because like you're going, and we all know he's still grieving the loss of his brother. We lost potentially the greatest tag team in the world,
Yeah,
in the Briscoes, when Jay transitioned. However, with Mark still here, I think a feud against Samoa Joe, I think would be really good. Their personalities would go really well. The only other person I would see him feuding with long term is Eddie Kingston, but he's wrapped up right now. So,
yeah. Yeah,
um,
no, I'm all for that. I mean, I'm all for Briscoe versus Joe, and it'd be cool if they work it out to do some sort of series of matches over a couple months where they kind of go back and forth to change the titles a little bit and have a solid feud. I'm all for that. So that match was really good. Then we got Dalton Castle's segment. It was a promo, which ultimately led into a match. Um, this was a match. It is what it is. Obviously, Dalton Castle and the boys are going to win when you don't know anybody that they're facing. Um,
So like I watched Marcus Cross. That's the only one I could think of, and I
yeah.
think yeah, Marcus Cross. I know I've seen on Dark and Dark Elevation. I'm
Uh,
laughing because Dalton Castle was like the biggest person in this match.
right.
But it was so good. It was so good.
It was. So the Castle won, or Dalton Castle wins.
Mhm.
I love it when he uses the boys. That's my favorite thing. He calls for the boys and uses them, throws them out of the ring onto people or whatever he does with them.
Boys.
And then we got an OGK promo. The only note I have here is Taven is so bad. Um,
We
which,
love you, Matt Taylor.
then we got the Spanish announce team, or two of the three members of the Spanish announce team, Serpentico
Spanish
and
Announce Project.
Project. Sorry, I apologize. Spanish announce Project.
Yes.
Serpentico and Angelico versus LIF, right? Or LFI?
Roosh
LFI.
and Drago.
Roost and Jalistico, who I guess they're technically brothers, right?
Yeah.
Roosh, Jalistico, and Dragon Lee. Is that
I
right? All
don't
three of
know
them are brothers?
Dragon Lee, but I know Roosh
There's a
and
third one. I'm pretty sure there's a third one that they got another brother too. But this was a good match. I mean, it was, um, for all intents and purposes, you basically know Serpentico's going to lose. Like, that's kind of what he does. I mean, I feel bad that Angelico's been kind of boxing him. I like the Spanish Announce Project. I mean, I like the humor and the fun of it, but I feel a little bad because Angelico's actually a really, really good wrestler. And I think he's been kind of pigeonholed with Luther and Serpentico and been given a lot of losses. I'd like to see him kind of maybe break away and do something different. I always thought that him with um, Jack Evans was great, but Jack Evans couldn't keep his shit together. So,
no. We're not gonna do that, Jack Evans. That's one of my favorite white boys. And you're right
so
about Roosh and Dragon Lee and all them being brothers.
yeah,
Um, what happened was Jack Evans from the Heavens was not getting used in AEW enough to justify having the visa,
right,
and
right, right.
then he was living in an area in Mexico that was not the safest. I hope he is safe, and I hope I haven't really heard too much from him. No, the cartel had kind of like taken over the area and was making travel very hard for him.
Oh damn.
So
All right.
hopefully he's good, and we can go from there. I as bad as this is to say, I like Angelico. I want more from him and Serpentico and Luther because I think they're pretty good. But this match was really good to me. I know it was there for Serpentico to be get beat the fuck up, but it was good. I like
And
it.
ultimately demasked. I mean, I think that was the main point was they took his mask. Fuck with him even more. Yeah, I mean, this for all intents and purposes was kind of an LFI showcase. I mean, and Helico and Roosh had a little bit of back and forth, some good counters, but really this was kind of an LFI showcase. I mean, but it was good. I mean, I enjoyed it. Then we had what Billy Starks versus Trish Adora. This was a good match. I like both these women. I mean, Billy Stark for being only 18 years old, man, she's impressive. I mean, every time I see her, I like her, and she keeps getting better and better. And Trish is just, for
The
me,
future.
here's what I don't understand. Like, for me, Trish is every bit Jade, but not there yet. Like, why is she not getting that same push? I mean, she should. She's better in the ring than Jade. I don't know about on the mic, but she's better in the ring. Like she wrestles better than Jade, but she seems to not get the push. She's always on Dark Elevation, Ring of Honor. She's never like on the main card doing anything.
So Trisha Dora's features are more Afrocentric than Jade's. So
Yeah,
it's that then Jade is a lighter complexion by maybe a shade or two than Trish, and Trish has locks. That scares a lot of people and it puts a lot of people off. She also they both carry themselves as if they are the shit, But there's also the fact that Jade doesn't really need wrestling. That's the thing that folks seem to forget. Jade might be worth more than most everybody on that roster for her outside ventures. This is really just kind of play money for her, and she's really fucking good at it.
Yeah,
Um, and I think like her physique and who she is caught Tony Khan's eye at the right time. I think Trisha Dora is going to be. I think it's going to be her year. I think it's going to be her year.
I hope so because
This
she's amazing.
match,
So I'm all for her getting more time doing anything. So
this match,
yeah,
these two are the future. The yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Make sure that you got up your way to watch this one. If
I
you
agree
don't
with that.
watch most anything else, for women, watch this match. It's yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think I was gonna say. I mean, I'd have to look, but I think it was definitely the women's. Well, other than the main event of Willow and Athena, it was definitely probably the best women's match of the week.
yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah.
no, really good. Go out of your way to check that out. Then we had Christopher Daniels backstage who said, "I'm not gonna." I forget whose challenge it was. I'm not gonna accept it, but Matt Seidel will. And so Matt
Mm.
Seidel is gonna. Do you remember who it was that he was? Christopher Daniels was denied. Someone wanted to wrestle him, and he said, "No, I'm not gonna wrestle you, but I'll." Matt Seidel will. Anyhow,
I
then
didn't
we
really care.
got a match that I don't have anything to say about, which was Man Scout and
You can skip it.
okay, we'll skip that one. Moving on to Yuta versus Toothless Timmy, which is probably one of my two favorite. Well, God, there's so many. There were like 3, 4 matches on this card that I really loved. I love this match. Both guys can go. I know Romeo and Trujillo Heat doesn't like Yuta, but I like Wheeler Yuta. Um, I in my
So
notes it says match of the night with a question mark, but then I obviously there were more matches that came after that, so that ultimately took that over. But this was the match of the night up to this point for me. Um,
Blackpool Combat Club are the heels.
okay, yeah,
They're the heels.
I agree, which is tough because Toothless Timmy is definitely a heel. Like Timothy Thatcher is definitely a heel. Um, but yeah, I mean it's
Is
um,
he?
you don't think so?
I think he just likes to fight. And I don't know if I can be mad at someone who just likes to fight. I I liked Finley,
Yeah,
so I like Toothless Timmy. This is a match. You know what? From Trisha Dora, can't say that. Okay, so Trisha Dora, start watching that match. Skip the match after it, and then watch the rest of the matches. So like if they had just swapped the Man Scout one after before, yeah. Okay, ALW, go drink some water.
yep, been doing that.
Yeah, because you're turning red on me, and I
I
can't
might
help
go out.
it.
I might go off the screen for a second if I have to. So
I if you need to, because we're about to talk about Aussie Open versus Tracy Williams and Rick Titus. You know what? We're on. We're gonna take this a little bit faster. So Aussie Open, of course, banger match. Um, let's see. For me, it wasn't a lot of illegal person in the ring, and now the ref has to get them out and all that stuff. It was more of a less fight type situation. It was good. More Aussie Open on my screen now, like right now, all there. Um, the penultimate match was Bindale versus Eddie Kingston. Um, so it wasn't really a match, right? It was more of a Bendejo is gonna try this, and Eddie Kingston is pissed. They're pissed off Eddie Kingston whoops somebody's ass, and that's what we have here. And then Eddie Kingston calls out Claudio and it's like, "Yo, Claudio, I want to fight." Claudio tries to like bitch up and like, "I'm not gonna fight Eddie. I'm not gonna answer. I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna go drink some coffee." But Eddie Kingston's gonna beat your ass, bro. That's all there is to it. He told me he wasn't gonna do it AEW. That's what saved you. But when he takes your belt, Telling you, Claudia.
Dude's name was Ben Deho.
Yep.
I was laughing so hard when I heard that. I was like, "Are you fucking serious?"
When I saw the name, I didn't believe it. I thought it was a typo. So then I went on Twitter and I was looking at gifs of the matches, and I was like, did they misspell it too? And then I looked again, and it was not misspelled. His name has been done. But the match of the night, the women's match of the week, one of the matches of the week overall, regardless of gender, Athena versus Lil Nightingale. And yes, I said Athena. I can't even call her Minerva on this match. She did what a heel should do. She cheated. She worked over one part of the body. She went ham. She was perfect. Willow was the baby face who was stronger. She was the baby face in peril. She was the baby face that was this close. Unfortunately, she didn't beat Athena. But good lord, was this match good? So it was
Yeah, go out of your way to see this match for sure.
so, it was
Um,
so
this
good.
is this is by far Willow's best match, I think, to date. It's probably Athena's best match since she's been AEW, ROH, whatever. Definitely since she's been women's ROH Women's Champion. Um, there were like, oh my god, there were so many times I was screaming. I thought Willow actually was gonna win a couple times. Like at the beginning of the match, I thought, okay, I'm pretty sure Athena's winning just because she's been on a run and she whatever, whatever. Probably no chance of Willow winning. But then when it got close and there were a couple really close walls, I was like, oh, they're gonna do it, dude. They're really gonna let her win. And I was like, damn. But then Athena got it in the end. I think this is definitely building up. We'll see another match. We'll definitely see a rematch between these two. I would imagine for the title again. Hopefully, Willow wins.
So
So good,
so
definitely.
good.
The
I
crowd was the crowd was really into this match too.
Overall so far out of shows that you should see, ROH is up there. There's only like one skippable match, so
Yeah, for me, Ring of Honor was definitely, even including Impact, which we're about to get to, was still the best show of the week. I thought had the most, had the best stuff.
yeah.
I thought this week, we could just jump right into it. I guess we could just jump right into Impact. I thought Impact was a little down this week. I don't know, like, did I not make it? Oh, here we go. I was like, did I not make it Impact banner?
You did.
Uh,
I just looked it up for you. I
I thought it was okay, but I wasn't. There was nothing. I was Kushida versus Gresham was really good, but again, it wasn't like I didn't feel like that gave him enough time. Honestly, I felt like it was too short for those two. Um, and I still have it as my match of the night. So I mean, that just tells you kind of like what was on the rest of the show. I mean, it started off with Bully Ray in the ring with the promo. And then that led, to basically the meltdown to the melee with more Mickey James stuff and more Masha Slamovich. I mean, you would almost think you're getting Masha and Bully versus Mickey and Tommy at whatchamacallit, their next pay per view. What is it? It's coming up here on the 24th. I forget what it is. Something. No Surrender, maybe. That was maybe the last one. But you're not. It's going to be Tommy Dreamer versus Bully. But I assume at some point we're going to get the intergender match or the mixed tag match because that's what it seems like it's building to. Um, what do you think about that? Santino calling Bully Ray Bobby Ray and the crowd chanting Bobby Ray was the best thing about the whole thing.
I saw Bully Ray on my screen too much this week.
I agree with that. Then we had
He
a
was he was
PCO.
on Impact, and then I kept seeing clips from a interview. I don't like Bully Ray. He annoys me.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
either.
Impact this week really just
Yeah, it left me flat for sure. Then we had a PCO promo, which was a terrible promo. All he did was basically yell at the screen and say nothing. Like, I mean, and so then
no
what?
PCO promo.
Yeah, then we had Josh Alexander backstage. He recruits Swan and Kaz for a 6-man match. Oh, it's a sacrifice. Um, and then Callahan versus Rhino. This is more continuing the whole Callahan joining Violent by Desire by design. Sorry, it's not violent by design anymore. By design, and apparently him getting beat and then Khan hitting him is step six. This is a dumb storyline. I'm sorry. In the very beginning, like I was kind of here for it, but they drug it out way too long, and it's been dumb. I'm not a big Sammy Callahan fan anyhow, so I don't. He doesn't do anything for me. Jordan Grace versus all I have is Garcia. I forget the rest of her name, but
Alex Garcia.
Alice Garcia. It was what it was. Jordan. I mean, this was basically a showcase for Jordan Grace, who they mentioned many times is going to be competing for in a women's bodybuilding competition here. I guess in a couple weeks or a month or two or something, and so
That makes sense.
she's super swole for that. Um, Jordan Grace is going to wrestle. The one thing that came out of this is Jordan Grace is wrestling. Well, it didn't come out of this. Sorry, Jordan Grace is wrestling the winner of the main event from tonight at Sacrifice. So, um, but then we
Okay,
got. Go ahead.
I'm gonna be real with you. This episode of Impact was boring as shit. I didn't like anything on this show.
You like nothing, huh?
I have absolutely nothing. It bored
Okay.
me. I was more. I thank God for Blunt Impact because that was the only way I made it through the show. This, I don't know what they did, but it's like they put all of the could be good matches on one show and had a mid crowd. So he's off coughing. I can't deal with Impact anymore right now. I, yeah, Impact was not good this week. It's very upsetting because it's usually my nice to my wrestling week, and this week it felt like I was drinking some like Mad Dog, and it was the unflavored kind, and I thought it was gonna be good alcohol. That's what it felt like. It was bad. It was so bad. Um, yeah, miss it. Just miss it this week.
I
Save
agree.
yourself the 2 hours. Rewatch Ring of Honor again. That'll be better. Just imagine other people there. We're gonna skip that. I can't do that. I'm not doing that to myself. Move it on to BTE. Um, BTE this week was that. Of course, last week, like I said, if you haven't, please gotta wait to watch the Elite Anthem. Brandon Cutler has no sense whatsoever. Um, Notable things was Trent Beretta breaking the rules. It was very cute. I don't know whose kid does the voiceover, but it was very cute, very sweet. Trent had like an old timey fire alarm that he was trying to trip. Ryan Nemeth was egging him on to do it. And he was just over here like doing like, you know, what little kids do, like being mischievous and stuff. Speaking of Ryan Nemeth, I love JD Drake. JD Drake is good in the ring and out of the ring. So Ryan Nemeth, whose hair is brown now, I guess to better differentiate between he and his brother, um, was talking about bowling and asked JD Drake some advice about bowling. He bought to talk about bowling and the lube for bowling. He brings an apple, a napkin, and like a cutlery pack from like the snack bar. And the funny thing about it was JD just tried so hard, but it he was just like F it. And he just made it very overtly sexual. Watch that. You should watch BTE this week because of just that part. It was hilarious. We actually started off BTE with Kenny saying, "Oh, I got us like 10 minutes to cut a promo. We're gonna tell everybody like what's going on. We're gonna have a promo off against House of Black." And of course, last week they got jumped. So that was their thing. When they were going in, they were like singing the theme. I want to say from SmackDown. So that was hilarious. As they were walking, then you see them get beat up. And Brandon comes like, "Oh my god, what happened, guys? What happened here? Oh my god, no!" type thing. Said the Ryan Nemeth thing. Talked about Trent. Um, We see highlights from the match that happened at Revolution. It was good. It was that's what I love about BTE, seeing like the parts of the matches that we don't normally see and like how they interact with each other. It was really good to see that. It wasn't so heavy on like Dark Order folks, which is interesting, and I would love to see what happens next as we go forward. Um, I want to see who pops up and who doesn't. We do have an update on Rosario Grillo. He is 24% super kid capacity. I mean, he should be off his crutches pretty soon. So, yay for him. We're going to have our lovely stand in coming in soon. He and Dean Alexander. Um, yeah, BTE this week was like a feel good type of thing, minus the whole bowling and move situation that made me laugh for a while. So, yeah, um, that's it for BTE. Watch it. So all in all, just to wrap it up, you can skip everything except for ROH and BTE. You're muted.
Yep, pretty much. That pretty much sums up this week. Unfortunately,
All you need is
definitely
two and a half
watch.
hours. We condensed 2.5 hours worth of wrestling, of the good parts of the wrestling. We left off like the other six, um, in like 40 some minutes. Look at us, we're amazing.
That's right. What more could you ask for?
That's why you watch Under the Radar.
That's right. Now you
Oh,
don't. Now you guys don't have to watch any of it. You can just listen to what we say. Other than Ring of Honor, watch Ring of Honor.
Watch Ring of Honor, watch BTE,
BTE.
Ring of Honor for the wrestling, BTE for the laughter. It's all good. So to wrap us on out, so we can go do what we gotta do before we go to Friday Night Fights. Stu is back on Wednesday, by the way. Mouse
Yes,
is
super
gonna
happy
get
about
his
that.
ass kicked. Mouse is gonna get
I
his
wonder if this is just another one-off because he's been back once or twice since he was gone too, and then like goes away again.
so
Like I hope he's back for good.
he was never really used when he came back, but this time he's actually gonna be in a match. So I
Yeah,
might
yeah.
see that. So we are live on Tuesdays at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the cookout. We come together to talk about wrestling and other stuff, and it's a chaotic clusterfuck, and you love us for it. Um, on Wednesdays, that guy over there and Sammy Joe drop all for Naught, a review of Raw and NXT at 3 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. Nothing for us on Thursdays yet. Friday, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, we have Friday Night Fights with Anika and Sammy Joe. They start out talking about Friday Night SmackDown at 10. I come in to watch AEW Rampage because I'm not watching that other shit. And ALW pops in sometime in between that. You never know when he's going to pop in. Saturdays we are live typically when there's a pay-per-view, but Under the Radar drops on Saturdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Sundays, if there's pay-per-view, we're here. Yeah. So don't miss us. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, join our Facebook group, like, share, subscribe, and comment on YouTube. And we'll see you guys later.